Good day, this is Thumbs United. We are working on the film for the Milwaukee Project, like the actual black and white film, not film like cinematography, just photography. Finished all the scans and I already brought them into Lightroom, so now we'll be cropping them and we'll be doing the tone mapping, or which is kind of like doing HDR, but it's not really using multiple photos. But what we're going to be doing is editing the brightness and the dark points pretty much, and then and that's different from doing brightness and contrast or changing the exposure. What we're going to be doing is we're going to make we can make the dark things even darker and more contrast while keeping the lights like the light sky and everything low contrast, and so we can edit the spectrum of grays kind of independent of each other. So that's what we're going to be doing, and then we're not going to get through it all. It ended up, so there were 180 photos, and only I think there was 20 of them that were from a different project. Not really a project, it was just which I didn't know there'd be 20 other ones, but what happened was I had a partial roll of film, and so getting everything developed, it was 180 photos, but the 20 of those photos were from something else, and it was just from driving around in Flint. I kind of showed them before, but so this project has 160 photos. I did the math. If I can find the calculator, and so if each photo is animated to be 28 seconds, that's 74 minutes. So that's pretty good. So what I'll probably do is, I don't know, I get it into 20-minute chunks, and then that can be 4 episodes, and one episode of 15 minutes. So let's get to it. I want this up, and let's get our music going. That's how you know it started. Okay. So there's some dust and other thing. It's mainly just dust that was on the scanner. So we'll have a lot of live streams of me going through and removing all the dust. But we're not going to worry about that now. What we're primarily going to work with is the curves, and well, you know what? We might do this up here, but yeah, see, what we're gonna do. So we're gonna edit those first, and then we're gonna do the curves. So I kind of like that, but we're gonna try doing it a different way. Yeah, I like the other way better. I liked bringing down the just making the low points like really dark. Then we'll go back here. So yeah, that's the image. The first one. And these images, they're TIFF files, so that's why the computer's lagging a little bit. And they're all 16 megapixels. They are they're around 170 megabytes each, so that's pretty big for a photo. TIFF is like the raw version of scanning. There we go. Okay, so I kind of figured out my style. And the other ones were pre-cropped, but this one is not, so we'll crop it down a little bit. There we go. So now that I kind of figured out the style I want, we're only going to be editing curves. There we go. And like you can do this in the darkroom, and I have, but you use a technique called dodge and burn. And so with the enlarger, you had it projecting onto the photo paper. Oh no. And then you make a kind of like a brush essentially out of other paper, like you twist it up, and then what happens is you're projecting the light onto the photographic paper, and then it's burning the image in from the negative, and the enlarger is just a projector, and you put your negative in, and then it shines the negative onto the paper. So with dodging and burning, you go through and you kind of just with your, this paper device, or like a spoon or something, you just need anything that causes a shadow, and then you just move around the image that's being projected, and you cover up certain parts, and the parts that you cover up will be brighter, and so that's called the dodging. And then burning, the areas you don't put into shadow while it's enlarging will become, that's the part that's burnt in, and so those areas will become darker. And so with digital, we can do that by editing the curves, and it's also called tone mapping. This is the tone curve, and it works for color as well. Most of my photography, digital photography, and you'll see this later in the stream. Not this stream, but in future streams where I edit I edit kind of similar, in a similar way to So this is like where I want the image, but it's kind of too dark. So I'm just going to increase the exposure, which didn't work. We will bring that back to 0, and we'll try straight up brightness. And so you can actually see the film grain. So what to do about that? Okay, we will. Let's start over. So we're going to leave the tone map. There we go. So I'm trying to get a huge range, and the higher range, the dynamic range, it kind of looks hazier. So then we're gonna increase the contrast by editing the curves, and so we're gonna make the dark point for everything that's dark in the image. We're gonna make that, kind of convert it to being black. So that's how we increase the contrast, but we're only increasing the contrast of dark things. Everything that's bright will stay the same. So this is how I like it. So I move on to the next one. I have to make sure I'm cropping as I go. Usually what I do is I go and crop all the way everything, and then I go back and edit it. But I think it's better if I just crop as we go along. Problem area is this factory right here. Like if I move this point on the curve, you see how it just goes straight to gray. We don't want that. But I want the darker sky. And so you can see how when I lower it, the sky gets darker. And there's more definition in the clouds. So we just have to balance it. So like right there is. And then the other thing I'm doing is I don't want as much darkness. So I'm trying to kind of lighten up the shadows. And then once it gets to the shadows, like right here, we'll darken it. Just trying to have as wide a range as I can. That one's good. And I don't know how long we're going tonight. I got a lot to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is like supreme cleanup day. I've been cleaning up a little bit each day, but I still have like the big stuff to do. Like vacuuming and all that stuff. Doing the dishes. And so if this was digital, I'd use the black settings here. But I don't want to do that because I have more control with the curves. Oh, it was funny. Yesterday, I had to cancel the stream. Mid production because the hard drive failed, and I knew that the second I canceled, that the hard drive would finish repairing. Like, it was taking a long time. It had taken like 20 minutes, and so I was doing like the pre-stream again, but while talking over it, but then it was just taking too long, and I was like, the second I announce I'm canceling the stream and go offline, it's gonna work. And sure enough, about 40 seconds after I stopped the stream and tweeted out that the stream was canceled because of the hard drive failure, the hard drive utility finished its work, fixed all the errors, and then I opened up Lightroom. Lightroom fixed all the errors with the catalog, which that's how Lightroom saves everything. It doesn't actually edit the images, it edits the settings in its own catalog, and so then when you export it, it will render out all the changes you've made to the image and everything, and so that's how it does it. It's non-destructive. You're not editing the actual image, you're just editing over the image. But so Lightroom was like a database with all the settings and photographs, and not like when you're in the library mode up here, you can set like flags for, and you people have seen me doing the flags and everything of how to organize, but then you can also group by stars, like this is a 5-star photo, a 2-star photo, but then you can also do keywords and everything, and the keywords are helpful because when you upload the photo to like some websites, some of the websites will actually take the keywords that are in the photograph and automatically put them into the metadata of the website. So if I put the keyword, Milwaukee Bridge, and I uploaded it to like SmugMug, then SmugMug would automatically put the keyword of the Milwaukee Bridge, and it just saves a process because I can do like 1,000 tags all at once in Lightroom versus having to do it online when you have to do it one by one by one. So that's another reason why Lightroom's pretty good. There we go. And this one is like majorly off. we go. So I don't know. These night streams they're doing alright. I kind of want to go back to doing 2 streams a day. And I just don't have the time. I wish I could clone myself and then I could do the fun stuff and I'd make my clone do all the stuff I have to do. But probably in winter or late fall I'll be able to do 2 streams a day. But that was a lot of fun earlier in the summer. And I got so much extra done now. Like, I'm still getting a ton of stuff, but I'm like, before I would do like photography editing and video editing kind of in private, just not streaming. But now I'm actually like saving it for when I do creative streams, which is good. But a lot of times when it's like, well, like there were times when I would edit maybe for for like 15-20 minutes and then I come back. But now I'm not doing that. I'm just saving it all for streaming in one big chunk. Like how it was before, it was like really high contrast and everything. But I didn't really like it, that high contrast. And for these ones, it's okay. For this one, I think it needs to be softer. This is one of the bridge. It's actually a street, and then the road comes up, and then here you can see this is, it's not a yacht, but it's a large boat for tourists, and then they go underneath, and then the bridge goes down, and then everyone drives across. Kind of a low contrast, kind of makes the image look kind of milky, so I'm trying to cut back on that, but still have it have a higher range. The problem is the steel. I'm trying to get definition in the steel, and as you can see, if I bring it in, it's so dark that it instantly gets clipped on the histogram. So I can't, I have to leave all that darkness in, which is kind of okay. I got it. I was worried for a second, but so like I was saying, I can't go much darker, else I lose all the definition in this steel, which is black. But I think this is good. We didn't really make a lot of. We fine-tuned it a lot. There's not a lot of extreme changes like I usually do. So this is the boat that comes through, and so they have like several bridges, and they all go up and let it through. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of energy. They do that too in Chicago. So now we're gonna clip the dark points to the hair. And that's nice, working with film, because we have so much more data we can work with. I'm going to start over with the curves. And again, it's the steel that I have problems with balancing it out. So we're going to make it darker, and we're going to push it that way. Now we're we go. I'm happy with that. Cheat, and I'm going to bring over the settings from the one before. Okay, so we're going to bring, just try to make this image have a wider range in the shadows. But still be dark. Okay, I think we're good. I'm like craving something sweet to eat. I'm almost done with the ice cream. I'm saving that for later. Now I understand why when parents, put their kids to sleep, they pull out the ice cream. It's like therapy. Like, I understand comfort food in a whole different light. I almost understand people who are like, okay, kids are asleep, it's time to drink. But I don't drink. Okay. So this image needs something. There we go. That's good. Oh, and so tomorrow I will be scheduling live to tape on the episode 8, the story of the white cat, that I'll be posting when it will go public. I'll announce it in the stream tomorrow and on the calendar. It's gonna probably come out sometime around the 17th, about a week from now. It's already up on Patreon, episode 8, and so I want to make sure it's up on Patreon for a minimum of a week. It's already been like 3 or 4 days. But the VR version is there, the 3D version is there, and the 2D version is there. And like I got really creative with my binaural setup, and so it's more 3D ASMR sound. Before it was very subtle. You might be able to tell that it was a binaural setup, but now it's like exaggerated. And so yeah, and I like it better. Trying to get definition in these trees. Like I don't want it to all go to black. My dog's snoring. It's gonna put me to sleep. My goodness. I was gonna say, this is the 37th image. I was like, there's no way. This is the 37th image. But we've done 19, so that's pretty good. Because these are more hands-on than with the digital ones. And the reason why that is, why I'm moving so slowly with the film and not with the digital, is that you don't have as much options with the digital photography, even though I shoot in RAW and everything. The film there's a lot more wiggle room. Like, you can see all that definition in the clouds I could get if I wanted to. Or, I could, really, well, that doesn't look good, but, you still get all the definition and the dark shadows and everything. Like, you can see what's under there. But, because, like, this building is black. But, like, you raise it up, you can see every detail in the building, all the scratches and everything. But, so yeah, there's just a lot more wiggle room, and so because of that, I'm also being, like, extra picky, and it's mainly trying to get as wide a range. The bright things are, like, the sky is, like, really well defined, and then and the buildings too. So I'm, like, trying to lighten up the darks, which is what I'm doing right now, but still have the bright sky, not terribly bright, but then also bringing up the contrast, which that didn't work well. But I don't like this grayness, and that's from being too extreme with the curves. Okay, that's a failure. See, this is the exposure and everything's right, but I don't like the kind of the effect. It's like too high contrast. But if I get the sky well illuminated, then I don't get the buildings done quite right. Let's start over. Sometimes we have to. So that's what the image looks like. So let's do it in reverse. Instead of working with the sky, let's work with the dark points. So that's how I like. Now I just want the sky. I don't think I'll be able to get that. The problem is it's exposed correctly, but I'm trying to change the exposure, and then in one section up there, and then try to kind of fight what I've changed. Okay, so we have that. See, like, this does look like it's HDR, and it's technically what I'm doing with tone mapping. Tone mapping is another way you can get the HDR effect. But I don't exactly like, I don't 100% like HDR. And so that's what I'm wrestling with. Okay, so that looks better. Still looks like here we go. We're getting closer. Fine tuning it. trying to put it back to where it was. Do. I think that looks the best. I'd still like it a little bit brighter. We're gonna make the exposure darker, but still. And it's like, that's super surreal, which is not really what I'm going for. But I think that's the best that image could look. This photo was so much easier. So much easier. I guess that one just really stumped me. And I have to get to bed earlier, so I'll probably do another 9 minutes. We'll end at 12:40. I know this wasn't a very long stream. It was only an hour and a half. But I should do better tomorrow. Do better. have to keep the sound on to my phone because it's connected to one of the cameras, and the camera gives me an alert every time my grandmother moves around. That one was almost a difficult one, that last one. I was such a chatterbox, not last time, but the time before that, 2 days ago. Friday's stream, I guess. Not today. I watched The Mask of Zorro. I was like, I really enjoy this movie. And like, I own it on DVD, that's how I was watching it. And my grandmother enjoyed it too. And then I was like, you know what the Legend of The Mask of Zorro is? It's essentially like Batman, but in Mexico. Well, it's before it was Mexico. It was they were fighting over California. So at the time, Mexico owned it. No, I think it's confusing. The Spanish owned California, but then they left and blah blah blah, and that's the whole plot of the movie. But and then Mexico owned it, but then Mexico was going to get rid of it. But anyway, it was just, it's Batman. But it's like the Mexican Batman. I was like, that's probably why I like it, because I love Batman and I'm Mexican. There we go. That's pretty good. It's a nice tree. Now this is the last one for the stream, and I'll start a rerun. Story time, and then past casts, and then I will be doing. I think it's flotation. I don't know the order, but it's going to be live to tape, past casts of the Milwaukee Project, and then probably Flotations Mark III, and then Project Newfoundland and Sleeping Spring. Okay, so I'm going to do another creative stream tomorrow, starting sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. It's probably going to be like 10:30, to be honest. Because I got so much to do tomorrow, in addition to taking care of my grandmother. And then yeah, Tuesday, we're going back to Halo for the multitasking. I don't know what I'm going to be multitasking when we do Halo, because I scanned all the film, but I'm sure I'll find something. Probably be rendering or of some sort. So that's going to happen Tuesday. Then Wednesday is another creative stream. Again, sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And Thursday is more Halo. And we're gonna go all the way through from Halo 2. I mean, I started on Halo 1. We're going to go from Halo 2, which is where we are now, and then we're going to go up to Halo 4. I haven't decided if I'm going to do Halo 5. But yes, it's going to be Halo for the foreseeable future. And it's just fun, and it's kind of easier because I just stream straight from my Xbox. I know it's lower quality than using my PC, but I'm not ready yet to get the capture card. I have to save up for a hard drive and more film development. But I'll see everyone tomorrow, sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time, where we'll continue where we left off. We made good progress. Each photo was extremely unique and needed its own development process. I think we brought out the best of all the photos, even that one photo that was giving me a hard time. This one. I mean, I like it now. At first I wasn't sure about it, but I do like it now. But we did like 24 photos. And yeah. So I'll see everyone tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. And see you tomorrow. Have a good day.